Welcome to the demo of luroConnect Build and Deploy. A typical developer workflow to release code in Magento has been to do git pull followed by a series of bin Magento commands or possibly put it in production mode. Each of these steps requires site to be in maintenance. Businesses can ill afford such downtime. Businesses also need the ability to deploy at will. The other problem is that this requires Git to be on a production system, which has proven weak security, and businesses need to be able to roll back code. Right? With the Git online, you'd have to run more commands to go back to the Git version. Magento's recommended flow is to have a build system. However, we think it can be improved on. So it starts with the development system committing some code, and then a build system doing a build, which includes compilation and static content deploy. But then it suggests putting all of the assets into Git, and then using Git on the production system, and keeping the site in maintenance for a long time. We can do better. Magento recommends building and putting all build assets in Git. Not a good idea. It also assumes the production environment runs with Git. Again, not a good idea. We can improve. We can make a deployable package star.gz, which with the commit build, with the name of the commit build. So the build system will now have the compile and static content deploy. By the end of it, you package the release, move the package to the production system, and when you want to deploy that package, all we do is change the web root, and if needed, put the site in maintenance only to run setup upgrade. Okay, this is generally followed by reloading PHP FPM. So now let's see luroConnect in action. luroConnect identifies multiple environments, specifically staging and production. We have two tabs, two columns. One is the build column, the other is the deploy column. So you can build for staging by just clicking over here and saying accept, or build for production. And once the build happens, which will take some time, you can then do a deploy. So let's see what happens in the build. Right? The build steps include doing a fresh git clone, followed by a composer install, a DI compile, and a static content deploy to be packaged into a tar.gz. Since a typical flow may not be all that every project needs, we have hooks and modifiers. So there's a post git hook, there's a post composer hook, there's a post compile hook, and then an ability to add additional directories in the tar.gz. Let's get back to the demo. The build continues to be in progress. It does take a few minutes to execute, but let's look at the deploy. So once the build is done, we will get the release as the commit ID. Also gives you the time at which the build was actually done. You select the build that you want to deploy, and then you click on deploy. You could ask for a setup upgrade. You could ask for a cache clear, right? For production systems, there could be an advanced setting which may be, perform a backup, TP backup, or do a reindex at the end of the build. These are not often to be used, so to be used with care. One of the advantages of having this builds over here is that you can deploy at will. So let's assume that you were on this build, and then you had to roll back. Okay, then all you have to do is select the build that you want to roll back to and click on deploy, right? So as you can see, the build continues to be in progress. It gives you progress information, and once done, it'll appear in this pull down, right? Thanks a lot.